Hello everyone, today I am back with another tutorial. In this video, we are going to learn about the WebView in Android. WebView is a view that displays web pages inside the application. It is used to turn the application into a web application. Okay, for creating a WebView, first we need to take the project. This is a new project I have already been created. Now in the project, I need to enable the data binding. So go to our project over here. Now here in build.gradle module app, I need to enable the data binding. So first enable the data binding, build features. And here I'm enabling the data binding. Data binding initialized to true. Okay. Now click to sync now over here. Now go to the activity main XML file layout file over here. Let's open it. Now click here, right click here, show context section and convert to data binding layout. Remove this line, Control S. Now go to our main activity file over here. First, I need to take one frame layout over here. First, I will take one frame layout. Let's remove the text view. Let's take one frame layout to display the fragments. I'm taking one frame layout, and the width I'm setting is match parent, and height I'm setting is match parent, and the ID is I'm giving it some ID. ID I'm giving it as home frame. Now close this. So this is our frame layout. We are going to display the fragments inside our frame layout. Now go to the main activity. Let's take the instance of binding over here. I'm taking the instance of binding. Let's initialize it. Late in it. Where binding of type activity main binding. Now initialize it over here. Binding initialize to data binding util dot set content view, and it is asking for the activity I am passing is this, and it is asking for the layout r dot layout dot activity underscore main. Now I will load the fragment over here. Let's create one function over here. Init UI. Now click here. Create a function init UI. Okay. Now I need to create one fragment and display the fragment. So right click here and I will take new fragment. New fragment. I am taking blank fragment and name it as home fragment. Home fragment and click finish. So this is our home fragment. Now in our main activity, I need to display the fragment on our frame layout. So for that, first let's complete the sync. Here in init UI, get stored fragment manager. Stored fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace, and it is asking for the container. I am passing the ID of frame layout over here, r dot id dot home frame, and second is asking for the name of the fragment. The name of our fragment is home fragment. Dot format. Okay. Now I successfully loaded the first fragment. Now I will go to my home fragment. Go to the home layout design of a whole fragment over here. Now I will create one button over here, or I can take one text view, and here I will take one text view. With the click of that, I will move to the web view control. Okay, let's here in our text view, let's change the height to wrap content first. Wrap content. Okay, now specify the constraint over here. First, change its frame layout to constraint layout. Constraint layout. Now specify the constraint over here. Let's change it to app compact text view. Now specify the constraint. I am specifying the constraint start to start of parent, start to start of parent, and top to top of parent. Next constraint I am specifying is the end to end. End to end will be of parent. Parent, as you can see. Now I need to pass one margin from the top. I am taking one margin. Margin top I am taking as 20 dB. Okay. Now I am giving one text to it. Let's change the name of the text I am taking. Let's change this. And I am taking one text. Go to site. Okay. Now extract the string resource over here. Extract the string resource. And I will create one string file. Click OK. Now I will give it some ID. I am taking ID. And I am naming it as link button. Any ID you can give. I am giving it as link button. Okay. Now I am giving the text size. Let's give the text size as 16 SP. So this is our text view. Let's move it to the center. Let's give it one constant bottom to bottom of parent. As you can see, let's move to the here. Now I also need to take one gravity. Gravity, I am setting it to center. Okay, so this is our text view. I can also give the text color according to my choice. Okay, now I will go to the fragment, home fragment over here. Now let's remove this line and remove this line. I don't need that function. Let's touch this function. I need on view, on create view. Let's cut the companion object, remove this line. Okay. Let's remove this. So I will override one more function over here. This is on create. I will create another function which is the on view created. Okay, now I will create the instance of our fragment binding. For that, first I will go to the fragment home over here, and let's click over here, show context action, convert to data binding layout. Okay, let's remove this line, Control S. Now go to our home fragment over here. Let's create the instance of binding over here. Late init where binding of type fragment home binding, and let's initialize it over here. Let's remove this line. Binding initialize to fragment home binding dot inflate it will take inflator. The next argument is container attached to root false. Okay. Now it will return binding dot root. Return binding dot root. Okay. On view created, I will create one web view fragment. So let's first create the web view fragment. For creating the web view fragment, right click over here, new. I will take fragment, blank fragment, and let's name it as web view fragment. Click finish. Now go to the layout file over here. Click on split. So here I will take one. Let's remove the text view over here and change the frame layout to constraint layout. Now inside the constraint layout, I will take one web view, and the width I'm setting is at match parent, and height I'm setting as match parent. Let's give it one ID over here. I am giving it one ID. I am giving web view. Okay, let's close this. Now go to the web view fragment over here. So first enable the data binding. Go to fragment web view layout file over here and click here, show context section, and convert to data binding layout and remove this line. Okay, Control S. Now go to our home fragment over here. Now on the click of our text view, I am going to display the web view fragment. Okay, for that, let's go to the on view created over here. Let's fetch the view binding dot link button dot set on click listener. So on the click of this is our button, text view button, and by on the click of this, I will move to the web view fragment. Okay, let's move on over here. Require activity dot stored fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace, and here is the ID of our frame layout art dot ID dot home frame, and I will pass the name of the web view fragment, which is our web view fragment, comma web view fragment. Now dot add to backtrace for the I am passing the name at null. Okay, and dot commit. Okay, on the click of this button, I will move to the web view fragment. Let's save it. Control S. Now I move to the web view fragment over here. Let's remove this line. Let's remove this and remove this. Remove the on create over here. And remove this on create function over here. Remove the companion object as well. Let's remove this. Let's create another function which is on view created. On view created. Let's overwrite it. Now let's create the instance of binding here. Late in it where binding of type fragment WebView binding. Okay, let's initialize it over here. Binding initialize to fragment view binding dot inflate, and I am passing the inflator from a container, and the attached to root I am passing here is false. Okay, return the binding, return binding dot root. Okay, binding dot root. Now let's go to the on view created over here. Let's binding dot WebView dot WebView client. Let's initialize it to WebView client. Okay. Now specify the URL you want to load. Binding dot WebView dot load URL, and here I am passing HTTPS www.youtube.com. Okay, any URL you can pass over here. Now set the JavaScript binding dot WebView dot setting dot JavaScript enabled, and I am setting it as true. Now here I am setting the set code zoom to true. Binding dot WebView dot settings dot set sport zoom, and I'm setting it as true. Okay, now we have successfully created the WebView control. Okay, now we will run the application. Let's run the application. You also need to give the internet permission in any Android manifesto file over here. Uses permission internet. Okay. Now I will check the app. As you can see, the app has successfully been launched. Now, if I click here, go to site. As you can see, I have successfully load the youtube.com over here. Okay.